Is that the end of that song? Oh my god, the next song started. The next song has begun. The next song has begun. I don't know if there's any singing in the song. Is there any singing in the song? Probably not. But it's Friday. And so we gotta talk over the music real loud and scare people. Oh my god, I have like 900 emails suddenly just came in on my phone. Get out of here. Deleted. Wait. Deleted. Wait. Deleted. Nope. Save that one. Get out of here. Deleted. Deleted. Did we delete all the emails? If we've deleted all the emails, we gotta figure out what's going on with this computer. The sound. Uh-oh. The sound is turned on. Turn that sound off. This page isn't working. This literally says this page isn't working.
Yep.
Look at that. Oh my god, it's Friday. It's solidly Friday, folks.
They decided not to do 404 errors.
Yeah, they don't do 404s anymore. They just say, this isn't working. Oh my god. Alyssa's looking at all my two-step verification information. She's going to steal my other YouTube channels. Oh my god. Do I have other YouTube channels? Shh. Don't tell anybody. It's at the beginning. Okay. It's the beginning of the show, and I don't know when the song ends, so we're just going to start the show because it's Friday. Who cares? What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to another show here on the 22 of October 2021. 2021. Right?
Yes.
Correct. All right. Cool. Hey. Aubrey Wright says, so Dune is out today. Spoiler alert, I've read that book 100 times. I know how it ends. Don't worry about that. I have tickets to go see it at 10 a.m. tomorrow morning at the big theater in the big theater area with reserved seating, blah, blah, blah. I'll wear, and by the way, I'm willing to wear 100 masks to go see Dune if that's the requirement. I will give them my vaccine report. I will show them my immigration documentation from Peru. I don't care. I will show them everything to go see Dune. I don't care. I want to go. And like I said, I'll wear a gas mask if I have to. I'll wear a hazmat suit if that's the requirement to go see this movie. I don't care. I'm going. I'm going, and you can't stop me. That's what's up. I'm very excited. I'm so excited. So excited. I'm so excited. I got ants in my pants. I just peed a lot in my pants. If I could get Alyssa laughing at the beginning, that means we're doing okay. Yeah, all right. So, yeah, Dune is on my mind. Dune is on my mind, and it's in the chat. You all know how to read. You all know how to read good and do stuff good. I know about it. 100%. Big D says, good morning. It must be Friday because I know it's not Monday. There's been some ongoing, I don't even know how you put it. It would just be like the news regarding Big D Smoke is that he lost track of what day it was for upwards of 3 days, which, hey, bud, I want you to know, shout out, Dennis, that's happened to me every week since I was born, so I can relate. I can relate to that 100%. I thought yesterday was Friday all damn day. All day till about midnight. And then I was like, today's Thursday. We haven't had Friday yet.
Right.
Because I was like, oh my God, we're going to go to Dune tomorrow. It's going to be awesome. Oh my God, it's going to rip so hard. I'm going to freak out. I'm going to eat candy in the morning. I don't care. I'm going to eat candy. If they let me. If I have to wear 100 masks, though, it's going to be hard. Yeah. It's going to be a difficulty to eat candy.
It'll be that thing.
Yeah, it'll be that thing. I'll be sneaking it. I'll be sneaking it behind the mask.
Right under. You'll just have like a trail of candy down your chin.
Well, I wouldn't suddenly start drooling. Well,
no, it'd just be from sliding it.
Oh, it'd be from squeaking it. Mm-hmm. From squeaking it across behind the mask like this. I'm just gonna eat some Abba Zaba.
Yep.
And, okay. But then I was like, but it's only Thursday. We haven't had Friday yet. This makes no sense. I have no idea what's going on. But I will tell you the day before that, on Wednesday, I woke up at 3:45, which is my normal wake up, 3:30. Okay.
in the morning.
The alarm goes off at 3:35. I get up at 3:40 because I sit there for 5 minutes and just regret the time of day, right? You're just like, oh, God, for 5 minutes. And then I get up, and I do my best not to wake up my lovely spouse, Victoria, the best, a.k.a. the best. I think that's Victoria's middle name. Victoria the best. I'm not going to say her last name.
Victoria the best.
Fart butt.
Last name.
I think Fart butt is her last name. Fart butt. Yeah. Anyhow, I try not to wake her up, and then I wander around for a while, and then I hop in the shower and I leave. Mucho early. Now, the only reason that I knew it was the wrong day. No, wait. This happened on Thursday. This happened yesterday. Oh, my God. All this stuff happened yesterday. So I got up at 3:30, 3:38, and then I got up. I, got out of the room, was all quiet. I went pee, and then I went to the kitchen because I was like, I got to get my cup of coffee. And I was like, oh, the coffee pot's not on. What a dum-dum, you know? Because I got to set the coffee pot to different times during the week to automatically turn on because I'm not about standing in the kitchen waiting for the coffee pot to brew its coffee. It will make me fall asleep while it makes the little gurgly coffee pot sound. So I stand there. It goes while it's doing that, and then so I'm not about that. So I set the timer on it, and then I'm standing there, and it's like. There's no coffee. There's just dry coffee here. It's not on. So in my sleepiness, I start to realize, like, oh, I already worked this week. What day is today? Oh. So I go and, like, get my phone out, and I look, and I go, oh, it's Thursday. Let me look at my calendar. Oh, I don't work today. Oh. Like, I don't work up at the co-op today, so I don't need to drive the 200 hours to get to work. So I was like, oh. And so I went back in, and I was like, do I go to bed? Do I go back to bed? I'm already up. Should I do stuff? And I was like, no, I shouldn't do stuff. I'm just going back to sleep. F all this. So then I go back to sleep. Now, what's funny is that it turns out that's the same day that Vicky and Olivia both decided to sleep in, was yesterday. Because I was like, I didn't have an alarm set. So I went back to sleep, and I woke up, and it was like 6:50. And I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, that's still early enough to be like a normal human waking up time. Cool. So I'm like, wait, Vicky's still in here. I don't hear any noise in the house. Like, the news isn't on or anything like that, right? And I'm like, but I don't hear Olivia, because if Olivia's awake, she'd be in there like, hey, man, come get me. I'm trapped in baby jail. So she'd be clanking the bars, you know? And so I go over to Vicky. I go like, what's going on? Are you not working today or something? Like, what's happening? And she was like, what? Like as if I was waking her up at some weird time. And she goes like, oh, my God. Oh, my God. I'm supposed to be up at 6 o'clock. I'm like, okay. So we just like run around and get ready. And we do all this stuff. It worked out fine. She was, but it was just pretty funny. It was all just one day. And the moral of the story is I had no idea it wasn't Friday. That's the whole reason I told that long story there. It was just, I didn't even know that it was Thursday the whole time. But now I'm super depressed because Dune isn't today. It's tomorrow. I'm so sad. In my heart. In my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, but the spice must flow.
The spice must flow. APSS says yellow beta fish. I don't know what that's all about. But what's up? Wesley was first to the chat. Zip Gun is off gallivanting around. He says he's going to be here later. Frank Dominguez from the attic. Third from the attic. Mikey Fishy, 503, all the way from Oregon. Oregon. I like saying it like I'm not from around here. Oregon.
Yes.
Yeah. Big D Smoke, Aubrey Wright, APSS, Michael Sarr, Wes Barshinger. Oh, my God. Look how many members we got in the chat today. Oh, by the way, we lost a member, guys. We were at 77. We're going backwards.
Uh-oh.
We're at 76 now. We lost a member. I don't know who it was, but we lost him. We've gone down. We've gone down in membership, which is a bummer. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? When bummer things happen, you just move on. You just have to. Big D Smoke, Zelfernide, and Janice Lumberg rounds out our chat for Friday. So because there's not a lot of people in the chat, let's bring in our guest, Alyssa Bentley. Do we know how to say your name correctly?
Oh,
No.
I thought you were doing it on purpose, just like
Bentley.
as the people in my state say it. Oregon.
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 Oregon. Are you saying oregano?
Nope.
No, I'm saying Oregon. Oh, Raygun? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm saying words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm not saying that you showed up late. Okay. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that you showed up late.
Okay.
So everybody knows in the chat, I'm not saying that you showed up late. Because you technically didn't. But I thought you were going to be here a couple minutes earlier. We were going to talk about today's topic. And so since we didn't get to talk about it too much, we're going to just we're going to go back to our fish news here. And we're going to see what's going on.
The fish news
The
you
fish news.
might be able to use, maybe.
Now, one of the things that I wanted to talk about today, I think I'm going to make a separate video about it and see what you guys think. Because it might be controversial. Oh my God. The controversy. Controversy. Wait, how are you saying that? Oregon. Yeah.
Oh, if you're up, you could say controversy.
Controversy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. Yeah.
It
Got
was
it.
just fun.
Oregon. Anyhow, so one of the things we wanted to talk about today, which may or may not be, hold on, I forgot to do the screen capture on this. We got to do the screen capture. We need smart selection. That's the button we need. We can't trust that. Just click the whole window. Nonsense. But we've got something in the news here. I'm going to cover up myself because I don't mind. Solar-powered oyster farm sets sail. Okay. The launch was overseen by the staff of the Chesapeake Bay Foundation and Solar Oysters, who have developed a platform that uses solar power to rotate large oyster cages in order to clean the bivalves and help them grow over time. After the oysters have grown, CBF will add the oysters to sanctuary reefs to improve the bay's health and overall oyster population through work with the Chesapeake Oyster Alliance. This innovative new approach was made possible with funding from the Able Foundation, which can we trust this foundation? I don't know. We don't know.
They say they're able.
We got to look them up, but that's their name, Abel.
Yeah.
Able.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, how are we supposed to pronounce it?
Able.
Abel. Who knows? Who knows? Can we trust them? We don't know. We don't even know how to say their name.
Are they
right.
Abel?
Oh my God! There's a fruit fly in here. Cha, cha. Did I get him? I don't know.
I don't know.
We'll find out later if he's flying around in 10 minutes.
No, I see him.
Damn fruit fly. I hate fruit flies. I hate them. And I don't know how it happened, but like I think I bought some bananas or something and we got fruit flies a while ago and it is enraging me.
I have fruit flies
Oh
because
God.
I have a couple of potted plants. And that's pretty much par for the course.
It's just rage inducing.
Yeah.
It's rage inducing. It just a deep, dark rage comes out of my innards and I just can't handle it. So this first story here with a solar powered oyster farm is basically like 100% for ecology's sake, right? So this is just like basically a situation where this is going to fall apart, in my opinion. Because every time something happens in the United States where we try to just do an ecological project that requires funding of some sort, it's like you do it for a little bit, and then it's no longer a headline, and then it just falls apart, right?
Right.
Like this always happens. There's constantly stuff like this going on where you haven't brought the economic incentive into it, right?
Yeah.
Like there's no economic incentive for let's see, these guys, all these guys right here, the Chesapeake Oyster Alliance, the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, maybe Solar Oysters, maybe the Able Foundation. Like as soon as this becomes not a headline, this is just all going to fall apart. I really hope that there is some kind of economic incentive like built into this at some point in time to try and get this into the farming side, right? And I really hope that like that's their idea behind it.
Yeah, I wonder what their output's going to be.
But I constantly read these kinds of stories that are like, well, here's the headline, and as it's posited in this story right here, the Able Foundation works to improve the lives of Baltimore City residents. Supported this project with a $150,000 grant. Right? Fantastic. Totally cool. And I'm into that. But what happens as soon as this grant goes away? Like they're just gonna drop this like every other weird little wacky project, because this is obviously going to require funding to keep these things going for any kind of point in time, right?
Yeah.
For any kind of period of time that's really going to do a benefit.
Unless it completely revolutionizes the oyster farming industry,
Right.
because it somehow negates whatever costs
Right.
to develop this system.
This whole project, but this whole project is essentially a platform ship. Well, wait, hold on. Let me bring back my my screen here so you guys can see what I'm pointing at. Hey, turn back on. Hello. Oh, there we go. Okay, now the button works. So it's like a pontoon boat that has these rotating bivalve nets, basically, right? It's running on solar panels. Somebody has to maintain this boat, right? This is a boat. It's going to be floating. And I'm sure that it's like partially automated. Like it's probably a lot of what it's doing is automated, just kind of going around. It's probably going to run aground at some point in time or something if people don't maintain it or take care of it. It's obviously going to corrode. Even though it's aluminum, you're still out in the sea. You're going to have all these issues going on. Are the solar panels going to maintain during a big windstorm? Maybe if they get disconnected or broken or something, the system breaks down. So you're going to need human intervention to keep this going regardless of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess if you're hoping that like volunteers show up to like do boat repair in the middle of the bay, like I don't think that's gonna work out. So I read a lot of stories like this where they go, oh, hey, we throw some money at it. We get some press. It's just a way for them to like sort of get their name out there. Like, hey, we're going to get some press. We're going to get some coverage. We're going to get more people donating or whatever. And
So is this an article or a press release?
I bet you it's probably both. I bet you it's like a combination of the two. But it's like this effectively doubles the number of oysters we can put in the sanctuary reef each year. Which, like, okay, that's great. But like, how do we multiply this to a point where it's actually going to do something effective to repair the damage that is done? So one of the big stories that I wanted to talk about today, we didn't talk about it at all yet. I haven't mentioned it at all. But was to talk about some of the closed net salmon hatcheries that are trying to come to the States. Which they're closed net's not right. Closed pen salmon farms that they basically float out into the bays. And we have problems with them here in the Puget Sound because they get broken, they get damaged, they put a ton of nitrogen into the water, blah, 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 blah. There's all this stuff that there's ecological damage, but we do have to take into account that like the human factor of we need to feed human beings, right? And so one of the places where they want to put this in up in Maine is that the whole entire fishery there has been decimated by human fishery, right? It existed for 60 years. They fished it to extinction, and now there's no more fish there, right? And so that's been on the pro side of putting these salmon pens in, is like, well, economically there's nothing left here now, right? And so that to me is like where we got to try and get in the middle ground of going like, look, let's say we're going to do this oyster farm situation with these solar panel boats or whatever. Like, if you don't have an economic reason to do it, basically, like in just the common nomenclature, I guess, like the way we would talk on the street, like if the business don't want to do it, it ain't gonna keep going because there's no money. Like, everything can't just be charity all the time, and hopefully like the Able Foundation just keeps donating money to like, well, maybe something will get fixed in the bay, you know. Like, I don't know. I see a lot of stuff like this. I don't know if anybody cares in our community here. Like, I don't know if anybody cares. So I'm throwing it out there. If you guys don't want to talk about culture stuff, if you guys don't want to talk about, I don't know, abortion policies in Texas and whatnot. If you guys want to talk about ecology and what's going on with things that we are supposedly supposed to care about around here, I'd like to hear from you guys what you think about some of this stuff that is going on. I've sort of said my piece about it. What do you think?
So obviously people like to eat oysters. And then a part of oyster farming is also farming pearls too, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't tried oysters.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know like what kind of price point they fetch. And I don't know what kind of an output farm situation like that. Like, do oysters become edible size in a year? Does it take 3 years? Are they like pineapples where it takes 18 months? Like, what's going on, right?
So one of the reasons I would bring this up is that where you and I live out here in the Puget Sound, we got quite a bit of oyster farms out here. Taylor Shellfish is one of the big dogs that is out there. And I've been invited a couple times in sort of a cursory way to go and do a tour of the facility and film it a little bit and like get to know more about like how their stuff operates. As a chef, I worked with them a lot, buying seafood from them quite a bit. And so I do have like a little bit of a relationship with them or whatever. And maybe we could go do some filming about that. I think part of like where my head is at right now is like, what is anybody actually interested in? Like, most of the people here I talk to, or we talk to on the old internets here, most of the people, not all, but a majority of the people that we talk to are Americans. Just geographical, internet access, blah, 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 all that kind of stuff. It just plays a big part of that. So one of the reasons I try to bring up some topics of what people want to talk about. People aren't very motivated to like comment on the videos and stuff, so it's very difficult to gauge like what people's responses are, what people are actually excited to talk about. I don't know. So it's kind of one of those things that I try to bring up some of these topics, see if somebody actually cares about them, and if people want to continue to have a conversation or a more in-depth coverage or something like that. That's kind of where I'm at right now, is like what do we do as... Okay, so let me clarify a little bit. So as Alyssa and I's friend relationship continues to grow, hopefully our professional relationship continues to grow, whatever you want to call it, right? It's like, hey, maybe we could collaborate on some kind of freaking project. Like, we have fish projects we're going to work on, right?
Yeah.
And that's all good. Like, we know, hey, you guys want to watch a video where we put substrate into a tank and then plant it and scape it and and then talk about like bristlenose caves or whatever. Like we already know that.
Right. I
Cool.
know you guys want to watch me try very hard to tweezle twazzle stem plants into some substrate and fail and get frustrated. I think that would be very hilarious content.
I think everybody understands that. I think we all understand that. It's like everybody wants to see the brand new project getting set up. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Like I think that's pretty well known. I don't think that I don't think anybody's like fishing around trying to go like, hey, what do people want to watch? Like you all want to watch brand new tanks getting set up every day. That's basically what YouTube people want to watch. That's basically what it boils down to.
Mm-hmm.
I can't afford to buy and set up a brand new tank every single day of the week, and there are some creators out there that can do that. I don't know how they do that. I guess they're just independently wealthy before they start creating YouTube content or whatever. I don't know.
I think they get sponsored by companies to do that kind of stuff.
Well, I know like George Farmer is sponsored, but he's not the norm. That's not the norm. Like it's weird that George has like 500 sponsors or whatever. Like that's a little bit weird. But he's also in Europe. European companies are a little more straightforward with like sponsoring people. Like they're more into it than Americans are.
It's like sponsor. I like to drink Smart Water because it comes in a bottle and I can drink it all the time.
Oh dear God. Is that the Coca-Cola Foundation? Who makes that? Let me see this. No, hold on. I'm not going to look at the bottle. We're just going to look it up. Who the hell makes Smart Water?
This is Glacio. Glaci. I don't know.
Let's see. Founded in 1996 by somebody in Queens. By 2002, the Glaciao line... Glaciao? How do you say that?
I don't know.
Glaciou? It's Glacia water.
It's Glace.
Oh.
E with an apostrophe.
Successor.
A-U.
Who's the successor? Who do you think it is?
Oh my God, is it Nestle?
Well, it's the company that owns Nestle.
Ah, great. Great.
Who do you think it is?
Kraft?
Nope.
Monsanto? I don't know. You said Coke earlier, so I don't know.
It's Coca-Cola. Coca-Cola owns it as the parent company. It's a subsidiary of Coca-Cola. Great. Hey, Coca-Cola, come sponsor the channel, you dinguses. Get on it.
Well, if it helps.
Well, I know there's like a bunch of Mormons run it now, so.
If it helps.
Oh my
I
God!
refilled
Here's
the
a
thing
problem.
Like
Here's a problem.
times.
Here's a real problem. If Coca-Cola comes to sponsor my channel, the Mormons would find out where I was again.
That is a real problem.
That's a problem. We can't. Can we trust them? I don't know.
Well, the problem is that then you just get proselytized to again.
All the time? Again?
Yeah.
They don't have my current address.
In general.
They don't have my current address.
I find
they used to have my other addresses somehow.
In general, I find the like wandering elders to be very pleasant, and they don't tend to
be
try
pleasant.
too
But
hard.
do they know your name when you answer the door?
No.
Yeah, it makes it a little weirder, doesn't it?
A little bit.
Yeah, it makes it weird, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
It makes it real weird.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
You've got histories.
Yeah. That's weird. That's weird, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also found it weird when I had a pair that were going to sing me songs at my door, and I was like, no.
Yeah.
Don't
Just
do
so
that.
you guys know, I'm 2 generations away from the Mormons. So that's how weird it is. Like, I've never even been to their freaking church. And they'd be like,
Hello.
hey, Joel.
My name is Elder.
Hello.
Sorry.
My name is Elder Fartbutt, and I'd like to fart all over your porch now. I'm like, okay, great. This is good times. Yeah? I broke Alyssa. She got broken. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Little
Did
bit.
you have a stroke?
Yeah, just for like a
Oh,
second.
my God. Okay. Hey, man, if we got to take you to the hospital, we'll do it right now.
I got
We will
decent
do
insurance,
it.
apparently.
We will do it. Okay, what? Somebody needs an Amazon link? Oh my God, we are sponsored by Amazon. We're sponsored directly by Jeff Bezos through the Amazon affiliate program. So if I share a link in the chat, that's how you know that now you know I've told you. What was it? Not everyone loves eating oysters, but lots of people does. Yeah, I mean, not everybody likes eating oysters, but they are delicious. They're just a specific day for me, but there's a huge industry behind them. Quite a large industry.
Justin keeps saying that he's going to take me to eat oysters at some point. And I say, sure. And he says, I don't know when that's going to be, but at some point. And I said, I'm down.
Like,
I like
all right.
food.
Yeah, go for it. Go for it. I don't know. Somebody was asking for an Amazon link, and now I can't find what it is. Any recommendations for fruit fly control in the baby forest corner of my room? Oh my God, yes. I looked this up the other day. This is the thing. I keep forgetting to order it, but
What's
they
a
work.
baby forest corner?
Hold on. Gallery. I gotta go to the gallery because I took a picture of it. Here it is. Yeah. Aunt Fanny's. Oh my God. AUNTFANNIES. Aunt Fanny's Fruit Fly Punch. These things actually work. They smell a little bit like vinegar if you're sitting like right next to it, but they're not like crazy odoriferous. Does that make sense? Is that a word? Did I make that word up?
No,
Oh
that's
my
a
God.
word.
I may have
It
invented
exists.
that word. I may have invented it with my mind brains. Okay, here's the link to Aunt Fanny's Fruit Fly Punch, Fruit Fly Trap. These things are super easy, and they work. And I didn't have to spend any money to find out if they work or not because somebody else bought them at one of the places I work at. And boom, they're just out there catching fruit flies big time. So there was a whole bunch of fruit flies in it, captured, and they got in there.
So they just put some wine in a wine glass and saran wrap over it with holes in the top concept and just bottled it up for you so you don't have to do that part by yourself. Nice.
Adam Wing got rhizome rot and added it to a tank. Yikes. That's a big time bummer.
Huge fear of mine.
Nobody knows how to fix it. The only way is to excise it with these jammers.
A very sharp.
Anything that's cut or anything that has rhizome rot, cut it off, throw it away, get rid of it. That's the best way to go.
I've heard to use a new razor blade to cut the rhizome.
New.
Yes.
New.
Like the kind where if you accidentally cut yourself, you don't feel it until you see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Rumba says, I think the chat display is a little too far down. We don't see the latest chat. That's for a reason. Because I can't trust you chatters anymore.
Oh.
Those of you chatters that like to post crazy nonsense in the chat sometimes. It's very rare. But every once in a while, somebody posts something crazy in the chat, and they have to get banned from the channel. And I have to drop the ban hammer right on their dome piece, just right in their face.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, here's the ban hammer. It looks suspiciously like Thor's... What's Thor's hammer's name?
Mjolnir.
Mjolnir?
Mjolnir.
What's the other one?
What other one?
The big one. The big one, the axe. That he has to go get because Mjolnir gets taken by Beta Ray Bill, right?
Oh, I don't know that.
Hold on. What's the... What would we call it? The axe that Thor... Yeah, what's the axe that Thor? I'm sure we'll get whatever it is. Stormbreaker. Stormbreaker is the other one. So much easier to say. Stormbreaker.
Because
versus
it's in
Mjolnir.
English.
Mjolnir.
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 Mjolnir would be
Mjolnir.
easy to
If
say.
I knew Thor, I would keep calling the hammer Mjolnir. Mjolnir. Oh, what's that Mjolnir? Oh, you got Mjolnir over there? Oh, you got
Really,
Mjolnir?
even if you just like knew Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah, Mjolnir. If I knew Chris Hemsworth, I'd probably cry. Are you kidding me? You could just like stand next to that dude and be like, I don't know if I'm a guy now. I don't know if am I a dude bro still? I don't know. What? I mean, the guy's like, what? Like hold on. How big is Chris Hemsworth? Hemsworth size. Let's just see size. Let's look up how big he is. So he is 6 feet 4 inches tall. So he's like 4 inches taller than you and I.
Mm-hmm.
And freaking jacked like a maniac.
Mm-hmm.
And our age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like his job to be jacked like a maniac.
His chest size is 50 inches. Do you realize how big that is?
Yes. That's where he has to get custom suits.
He has a 50-inch chest.
Mm-hmm.
And his waist is probably like a freaking ab-coated toothpick or something. Like, what? I don't know. I know some dudes like this. Like, I've seriously known a couple of guys that were like that, and it's just like, dude, I can't hang out with you. I don't know what the hell is going on. Plus, they're so busy at the gym, you can never really hang out with them anyhow.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're always like, oh, I got to nap and eat some protein shakes, and I'm farting a lot. And you're like, ugh, you know.
Yeah.
And I bet you probably couldn't hang out with Chris Hemsworth because he's probably farting and burping all the time, which you got to understand. When you're around bodybuilders, they're farting and burping constantly, and they always smell like they have like a funk. They have a funk. I don't know what it is. It's probably the protein because like it's the opposite of old people, right?
Yep.
You know, old people have a smell. We all will have it when we get old, by the way. It's not a distinct feature of a specific human. It's the protein recombination process or whatever is what causes that smell. Mm-hmm. Like the old people smells, like you start to break down and you don't absorb protein properly. I think it's an association with that. But there's no way you could hang out with Chris Hemsworth. He like you could be like walking down the street and you'd be like, wow, that's a really cool car over there, and he's like, hold on, and he'll like text somebody, and then that car will show up like brand new because he's like, I ordered one with the Uber driver in it. He drove it here. Now we tell the Uber driver to leave because he'll walk home because I'll pay him to walk away or whatever. You know, and you just be like, I don't know what the hell's happening right now. This is bonkers. You know, it's just weird. It would just be weird to hang out with that dude. That's all I'm saying. It would be less weird to hang out with Thor.
Yeah.
I think it would be less weird to hang out with Thor. I think that's
like
really
actual
what I'm getting
Thor.
down to. Like actual Thor. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You'd
be like, oh, so you're like a god and you can pull down
like,
lightning from the heavens?
You'd be like, so you are a god.
Okay.
Oh. Word. So like, what's up with your dad? And you'd be like, it's very complicated. You'd be like,
I understand.
And we're good. Yeah. And you'd be like, how old is your dad? And you'd be like he's like 10,000 somethings.
Yeah.
You'd be like, is he 10,000 Earth years old? And you'd be like, no, he's 10,000 Asgardian years, which are much longer than Earth years, right? Because I think Thor is like 1,000 years old or something at this point, right? Like, right meow?
Right meow?
Like in the hold on. How old is Thor right meow? Let's see. How old is Thor right meow? So either Thor is 1,000 years old or Loki is 1,500 years old. Now, considering Hela, her story, I'd say Thor and Loki are only about 1,000 years old. Yeah. So they're like 1,000 years old right now.
So they're like young.
They're young for Asgardians.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'd be like, oh, these Utes. Mm-hmm. You know? Joe Pesci would show up and be like, hey, these Utes over here. You know? He'd be like, these Utes over here is getting crazy with Mir. Right? And you're like, what happened? And then what's her name would show up and she'd be like, I don't know about the tires from the what is it? What's the car? It's like a Chrysler LeBaron. I don't know I don't remember what car it was.
It's a pretty good Joe Pesci.
So like it'd be like 1,000. So they're like 1,000 years old. So you wouldn't even really know. So we wouldn't even really know what Thor was all about, realistically. You know what I mean?
You're right.
Adam Wing says creatine makes people smell weird. Yes, maybe that's what it is. But I think it's the protein in the creatine, like the excessive protein, I think.
Probably.
Yeah. I'd love to see Corvus hang out with Big Lenny. I don't know who Big Lenny is. Maybe an hour before he would need to get away. I don't know who Big Lenny is. I have no idea. Steve Bear teaches here for the hashtag asterisk crazy nonsense. I like it.
Good.
Raspberry vinegar piece of paper funnel done. Yeah, I don't know. I like this. I like the fact that the Aunt Fannies, number one, it talks about butts, which is hilarious. And you could just buy it and have like a couple of them sitting there, and you just open it up, and it's got the vinegar and stuff in there, and it's pretty cheap. You know what I mean? So. But yeah, you could do all those weird homemade traps and whatnot, but come on.
It's good for people who can't wrap their minds around. Now, okay, let me put this in another way. I have had clients who just had really bug-infested homes, like a lot of fruit flies. Like you walk in and you're like, if I breathe too hard, I'm going to get fruit flies in my lungs. This is disgusting.
Right.
And you tell them, you write down the instructions on how to make these fruit fly traps. You draw diagrams for them, like, look, just do this, right? And then they'd be like, well, can I just put like soda in here? And I'm like, no. Get a cheap bottle of red wine from the store. You're old enough to buy it. You are like 82 years old. Just go do it.
Right.
Take a toothpick with the saran wrap over the top and just put like a rubber band around it. I can see you have all of these things right here.
Right.
Just do it. And you'll
capture them.
You'll capture them. And then
I have this one. I don't know how there's this one down here. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Alyssa. My house is a disaster. Ugh. And I brought you here.
To this disaster of a house.
It's a real... yeah. It's a mess in here. It's not dirty, but it's a mess.
Yeah, there's one that hangs around my art table, too. I don't know why.
It's just...
There's nothing over there for it to eat. There's just
yeah. I don't know why there is one here, but it has like just enough food to proliferate one fruit fly. I don't know.
They only live like a day too, so it's
I don't
really
understand.
weird.
Like, why is it not dead? It's still flying around. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't understand it. I wish I understood the mechanism. I didn't do my sixth grade science fair project on fruit flies like some other people.
Like Mendo,
Becky
over there in his monk's whatever doing fruit fly experiments.
Disaster.
Anyway,
YouTube Big Lenny. I don't think I'm going to. Adam Wing, the procrastination. I'd love to see. Blah, blah, blah. It's genetics and money.
Cause attraction.
Oh yeah, the thing with the thing with the Hemsworths. Yes, it's genetics, but it's also like. It is money in the fact that like those guys are on an insane regimen of all sorts of medications and things. They have doctors that are in charge of it, all that kind of stuff. Like, do you even question like what those guys are about? Like, I think you would have to take into consideration Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah,
Hugh Jackman.
Right.
Isn't that his name? Hugh Jackman, right?
Sure.
Now you got to understand. Go look up Hugh Jackman now. He's a skinny, stage dancing fancy man, right?
Yeah, and that's all he ever wants to be.
That's all he ever wanted to be. That's all he ever wanted to do. I forget the actor who was supposed to be Wolverine. There was a couple other actors who were supposed to be Wolverine.
Oh.
Which it would have been a disaster because those guys were not. They're not Wolverine. Hugh Jackman is Wolverine.
Right, obviously.
Now,
that's why we don't do Wolverine anymore.
If you go look at Wolverine 1, he's like in good shape. I will admit, that guy's a drink of water. You know what I'm saying? You're like, whoa, hey, buddy. I don't know what's going on over here. What are you up to? And he's like, I jog a lot. I drink a lot of water. I sleep 10 hours a day. And eat a lot of greens and things, right? And you're like, oh, kind of what I expected. Doing a lot of push-ups? Oh, got it. Now, if you go look at the most recent Wolverine, what the hell is going on? They go, well, this is a $1 billion franchise, so we have every doctor and every trainer and every single thing under the sun possibly to get this guy to this point. And as most of those guys have testified, they're basically on the verge of death. Like, they're on death's door. And you're like, I'm
they
never
even
gonna do
have
that,
to
dude.
abstain from water for like a day before shooting. each one of those things just to get dehydrated enough to have all the definition going on.
Right.
And I'm just like, these people are just running around like dehydrated as hell.
Well, I have a friend that's a bodybuilder.
Yeah.
And does competitions. Like, that's their job. And, I talk to him about stuff, and you're just like, you're doing what? Like, that's not good. And it's like, to get ready for competition, it's like they're dehydrating, like, out of their minds to the point where it's like, oh, I might fall over because I'm so dehydrated. You're like, what? Like, you're going to pass out and die, basically? You're just like, dude, this is ridiculous. It's just such a bad idea. But,
Yep.
If you look at that, yeah, I mean, a lot of it has to do with money and all that kind of crazy stuff. But, like, the reason I use Hugh Jackman as the example is that he's not going to do Wolverine anymore.
Right.
Because of that. It's not because of the acting part.
Right.
Of course he would do acting. He's not going to do the physical training anymore. He's come out and talked about it a bunch of times. Because they're like, why don't you want to be Wolverine anymore? Like, it's the biggest role you could ever do. And he's like, it's not the acting part. It's the physical, the insane physical stuff that you have to do to your body in order to embody this, like, completely unrealistic expectation of what your human body should be like.
Right.
It's like, yeah.
And he
which
did it
is
for
weird.
like a decade. That's a long time.
He did it for like, how long was, hold on. I think it was like 15 years.
Oof.
How long was Hugh Jackman?
That's a long time for chicken and broccoli,
Wolverine?
man.
Because I think the first one came out in, 2000. Man, was it like 2001? 2002?
I don't know. I don't remember.
17 years. It's worse than you thought. I thought it was 15. Turns out it was 17. Yep.
That's
Acting as Wolverine for 17 years. Yep. That's insane, dude. That's a long time. That's a long time to be, like, in physical training pain, right?
Right.
Like, just the whole time.
And that's why when my partner is like, man, I just want to get abs and then maintain it. And I'm like, I appreciate that you're lifting. It does great things for your arms and whatnot. Awesome. I'm not concerned about you having abs.
Yeah. It's a bit much. I don't know.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if somebody's paying you, $40 million or whatever, then that's a hard job, and you just do the job for however long you want to do it. But now, obviously, it's just not even they can't even convince him financially to do it. But how old is Hugh Jackman? Where would we find that? Oh, right here, Wikipedia. There we go. He's 53.
Okay.
So he was born in 1968. So, yeah, I mean, you got to realize you're starting to get to the point where you're going to have, like, some serious long-term damage to your body. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You might end up being a Scientologist. You might go completely kookaloo, right?
Right. I got a buddy who.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman was also Van Helsing, which I loved him as Van Helsing. People didn't like that movie. I thought it was great. I thought it was so cheesy and good and well done. To me, it came in. Yeah.
People need to stop expecting some sort of like crazy cinematic all over masterpiece for every piece, like every movie that they see. Like there's, it doesn't have to be like 100% on Rotten Tomatoes plus like critically acclaimed this and that and all to be an enjoyable film. Like you can go watch What They Do in the Shadows and just laugh at how goofy it is.
Yeah. Well, that came out in 2004.
Yeah.
So, I mean, does it hold up? I don't know. I mean, I'd have to go back and watch it. But at the time, it was like, it was campy. It was fun. Like, I think there should be more sci-fi stuff that has that campy funness to it, where you're like, I mean, that Kate Beckinsale's not going to die. I mean, that Hugh Jackman's not going to, Van Helsing's going to continue, right?
Right.
Like, they're not going to just die, but it is, like, exciting, and a bunch of goofy, crazy stuff happens, and you're like, all right, man, that was fun. It was fun to just be a goofball for an hour and a half, right? Like, yeah.
Right.
How well did this movie do? Oh my god, I think this movie actually did pretty well. Yeah, the rating, it gets 1 star. This is a 1-star rating.
Jeez.
The box office was 120 million. Let's see. Van Helsing cost. Here we go. Was Van Helsing a flop? The film debuted at number 4. What the hell? Where did it go? I guess let's just look up the Wikipedia. We'll see. Budget was 160 million. Box office was 300 million. So it did okay. So it did all right. Yeah. Despite most negative reviews, the film grossed over 300 million. I think like domestically it didn't perform as well as they wanted it to. Yeah, because the budget was 160 and worldwide it did 300. Locally it did 120. Okay, so it did have.
When was it released?
2004.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why I didn't see it in the theaters.
It was a big. I never saw it in the theater. I have to admit I didn't see it in the theater. I think I bought the DVD or something from Fred Meyers, would be my guess.
I probably would have had to have streamed it. It was a rough period of time for me at the time. But yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's weird.
Let's see. Yeah, I don't know. There's a whole lot of lore here to deal with around the Van Helsing. But he got bit by a werewolf, you know? He got bit by a werewolf, and he's doing werewolf stuff, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like half human, half werewolf, half man, half werewolf, right?
Half
Then it all
man,
makes
half
sense.
werewolf, half pig.
Half man, half shark. Half shark, alligator, half man. What was the other thing? What was it? Let me see if I can find it. Da, 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 da. Oh, here it is. I was reading this like a week ago, maybe over a week. Yeah, about a week ago. Recent reports have called into question the role that standards like those set by the Aquaculture Stewardship Council play in fish farming, but ASC Australia's representative Duncan Leadbitter says certification plays a role in minimizing the industry's environmental impact. So this is out of Australia, obviously, since I just mentioned that it has to do with Australia and specifically Tasmania. This has to do with those salmon farms in Australia. Leadbitter's response follows the storm of negative publicity that has recently surrounded the salmon farming sector in Tasmania. Publicity which has included allegations that organizations such as ASC are profiting from a sector that has questionable environmental credentials. It just kind of gives you an idea of like what this report is all about. A lot of it has to do with whether or not they're actually following the standards set by, salmon farming in the ocean. And to give you an idea, one of the farms that they're trying to build right now in Maine is going to be able to produce, what is it? I forget what it. Don't quote me on these numbers, but it was like 300 million tons of salmon a year, which is 5% of the U.S.'s salmon market.
Wow.
Right? So just one of those goofy situations where you start to kind of get into these wild numbers where you go, okay, we do have to try to figure out how to produce enough food. And you get into these really big numbers and you're going like, oh my God, that's why we need to produce the food, because we need lots and lots of food. Okay. And I think I've mentioned this a few times before. My stance is trying to figure out the balance. Like, I would like to see the balance of maintaining and repairing environmental impact as much as we can. But I'm on the side of the humans being able to eat. You know what I'm saying? And if we destroy the ocean to the point by just fishing out of it, we're not going to have any food.
Right.
Because I think, I think the ocean is responsible for what? It's like a percentage of the world's protein consumption. Let's see. Because I remember it is something. Yeah. So like 20% of the world's population derives its animal protein intake from fish. So you're talking about, what is that? 20% of 8 billion is like 2 billion people, right? Or 1.7
1 point something. It's
billion
like 1/5.
people, right?
1/5.
1/5 of the population.
1.6 billion.
1.6, yeah. But yeah, you're talking about 1.6 billion people's protein intake comes from the ocean. That's a lot, dude.
Yeah.
And if we overfish it to the point where there ain't food there, you're talking about a lot of people, a lot of desperate people, right? And
Right.
we don't want to run into that.
Right.
We don't want to run into that iceberg.
Right.
If this planet's the Titanic, we don't want to run into that iceberg. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That makes sense, right?
It does. And it's funny. I think about it like a 40-gallon tank,
Mhm.
right? And it's got a lot of fish in it and they're all breeding, right? And you
Mhm.
want to try to keep those fish alive. In order to do that, you have to feed them more because there's more.
Right.
But when you do that, then you end up with a thick layer of poop at the bottom of the tank that you have to take care of. So what do? You have to be able to manage all that.
Mm-hmm.
So the more people, the more fish that you put into this tank, which isn't getting any bigger, the more you have to deal with the waste situation. And I guess, I don't know, maybe that's a really weird way to put it. It's how I think about it. One of my tanks is way too overpopulated right now, so I think about it a lot. Yeah, it's like you can just sit there and siphon all the crap out, but then what do you do with it? You can't just shump it off into space. Like that's what the human does with the tank, but you can't
Mhm.
do that with the earth. You need that here. And I don't know what the all-encompassing ecological answer is,
Mm-hmm.
but I know that there's a lot of smaller things that can come together to form the puzzle that solves the whole. Like the lady in, I forget which country in Africa, who is using all the like plastic bags and stuff to make as the binding compound to add with sand to make concrete bricks. Plastic concrete. And apparently it insulates better than regular concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's good. She made the patent public, so you can just look it up right now on the internet. I looked it up the other day. Seems relatively simple. At least it's like we're producing all this plastic and there's a whole lot of it on the planet. So it's good to have a thing that can be done with it.
Right. Well, it's like almost the question I have, especially like with the environmental impacts of everything that we're consistently seeing. is that like, where do we fall off the cliff with just like hoping that Mother Nature is like, oh, figure it out, it'll be fine, just keep catching stuff, um, and then like, where's the balance between that and all of the crazy nitrogen that's getting dumped into these bays where they're doing this fish farming, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, it's obvious it's being consumed because businesses are growing it, they're selling it, people are eating it, it's going somewhere, right? Where's that nitrogen going? I don't know. But like,
Well,
is
it's
that
being concentrated right there.
but is that yeah, well, it's being concentrated there for sure. The newer pens are supposed to be closed pens, right? Where they're able to take the waste from the closed pen, but they're still cycling the water in and out of those closed pens, right? So you're still pumping water in and out of the closed pen. So it's still adding a ton of nitrogen to a bay that just doesn't have a nitrogen source in it.
Right.
So you're like putting a nitrogen source into an area that doesn't have one. It's going to do something, right? Like something is going to happen. And we end up with all these crazy algae blooms and all this nonsense going on in a bay that can't handle that because it's never happened there before.
Right.
What's it gonna be? And they obviously can't leave these things out in open ocean, because you leave them out in open ocean, a big storm comes through, and boom, then the thing sinks or whatever, or gets broken or blown up or lost. A lot of them, surprisingly, have been lost. So they have these big tuna pens, out the open sea tuna pens. Sometimes those just get blown away.
Oh.
And the funny thing is, I forget what I was watching. I was watching a small like YouTube documentary of a group of kooks, a group of like like a small group of weirdos that go around in a boat trying to find tuna pens, because it's like winning the lottery for those guys. They're like literally just cruising around in a boat, burning gas to go try and find a tuna pen that they know has been lost by the company that lost the tuna pen, and they're basically like trying to search for like underwater gold.
Oh.
You know what I mean? They're like looking for the shipwreck, but this is a floating shipwreck of tuna trapped in a pen, right? Because the tuna trapped in a pen is just worth so much money that they're like, oh my god, it'd be like winning $1 billion, you know, kind of thing. So you're like, yeah, I don't know.
So they're just out somewhere in the ocean, stuck in a net, but living in a
pen
in the ocean in a net.
On the loose, just out there cruising
It'd
about.
be like, you know, in Finding Nemo when they're in those fish bags,
Right.
and they've rolled out, into the ocean, and they're just like in the fish bags, and you're like,
and here I am.
well, you haven't solved the problem.
You still have a problem. You still have a significant problem.
And now there's more plastic in the ocean.
Uh-oh. Fish Tropic says, rest in peace, Hellboy 3.
Oh, they've been talking about bringing old movies back.
Oh, they're trying to do another Hellboy? Because how many Hellboys are there now? Because there was the first 3 movies, right? Is that right? There was 1, 2, and 3.
I don't remember. I saw the first one, and I think I might have seen another one, but I don't know which one it was.
Because there was Hellboy in 2007, right? And then Hellboy 2. And then was there another one? Hold on, let me see. Movie franchise. Let's see if we could take a look here. Because there was the Hellboy with what was it? Let's see. Hellboy franchise. Let's take this. Let's try that. Let's just look at the whole as a whole here. Because who was the first Hellboy? Yeah, Ron Perlman. Oh, okay. There was only 2 with Ron Perlman. I thought there was a third one with Ron Perlman, but I must be wrong. Because Ron Perlman was the first one, but he was already fairly... How old is Ron Perlman now? 71 now. So it's really rough to like imagine that somebody that's weird, man. The superhero movies, like if you get somebody who's already like 58, 59, to do the first movie,
Yeah.
right? Then they do the second movie, and then they're just kind of too old to really be doing that.
Like Patrick Stewart.
Like Patrick Stewart's a perfect example.
But to be fair, at least Patrick Stewart was in a wheelchair the whole time.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know. There's a timeline.
Like, how old is Bruce Willis?
Bryce Willis?
Yeah, is he 70 now?
Bryce Willis? Let's see. Bruce
I always think
Willards.
of him as being my dad's age. So.
He's fairly old, 66.
Oh, he's younger than my dad.
He's younger than my dad, but he's still 66, you know? Like,
Yeah.
it's fine. A 66-year-old guy could punch somebody and do all right. You know what I mean? But he ain't falling off a building and then punching guys doing all right.
No.
You know? It's just not how that goes.
No.
I think it's weird. I think it's weird where we have these old guys that do all this, like, extraordinarily insane stuff. Because you got to think, if you're 66 and you're doing stuff that would be crazy for a 26-year-old to do,
Yeah.
that's 40 years of wear and tear. Like, how bad is his ACL? You know what I mean? Like, how bad's his Achilles? Because I know a lot of guys who are in good shape who go play softball and then blow out their Achilles, and they're out for 6 months.
I want to see.
They popped their Achilles, ran in second base. You know what I mean?
I want to see an action movie where a guy gets shot in the arm and then he can't use that arm.
Like, yeah, because your arm is jacked.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, they just get shot in the shoulder, and they're like, oh, God, yeah, we're good. You're like, what? That probably just penetrated part of your seriously important vital parts.
Yep.
Like, what?
Yeah.
You ever seen somebody break their collarbone? Like, they are screwed up.
I have not seen that.
Yeah. Like, they're screwed up for a while, you know. Let alone they don't have a bullet hole in them, you know.
Or walk across glass with bare feet and then just be running around on that?
I think
No.
you could do that.
No.
I've had glass go through my foot,
Yeah, me too.
and I still was walking around-ish. It was not good.
I mean, I have definitely dug out glass splinters that were like this long from the bottom of my foot.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was walking funny for quite a while.
You could get some adrenaline going and still, like, run around on your feet, though.
That's true.
I think your feet are kind of specifically designed to be, like, meat stumps on the end of your leg and just take some abuse. So they
Yeah.
probably could psychologically get around that for a little bit. But
And
not
there was the time.
but not for, like, 40 hours, you know?
Right.
Like, you're not going to be, like,
The adrenaline's going to run
running
out.
a marathon that whole time. Because your adrenaline is going to run out, and then you go into shock, right? And once you go into shock, you're pretty screwed.
I did get hit by a van
I can
once.
testify to that. When you go into shock, you're not doing a whole lot.
I did get hit by a van once while I was bicycling to work.
Mm-hmm.
And I just was really angry at the time and just started screaming at the person and then just like didn't think about getting insurance information or anything because I was dumb and angry and just like went to work. And it wasn't until the next day that I realized I couldn't walk.
Right.
That was dumb.
Mm-hmm. Oh, Mikey Fishy's broken his collarbone. It sucks.
Yeah.
He says, and Joel and I are in the Collapsed Lung Club.
Ugh,
Yeah.
that's a great club.
That's
I'm
a good club.
really
It's because Mikey's too tall.
yeah.
Yep. That's your fault. Shouldn't have grown so tall.
Yeah. It's like my mom used to say, if you could
Which
just
is the
stop
weird thing.
growing, you'd be fine.
Which is the weird thing, because I've never really thought of myself as specifically tall. Because I'm just like,
Yeah.
I'm like basically 6 feet. I'm like, if I'm slouching, I'm under it. If I'm standing up straight, I'm pretty close. You know? And you're like, I've never thought of myself as tall, except for when I was in the hospital and I had to collapse lung. They're like, yeah, you tall, skinny guys. It's going to happen to you a lot. And I'm like, how am I tall? And then, of course, you stand up and all the doctors are super short except for the one
Oh.
GQ dude, you know. You're like, what's up with that guy? What's that dude doing over there? You're that tall. You don't need to be a doctor, bro.
See, I
You
don't
know,
even
bruv? You know, bruv?
I don't consider
Probably
you
a
tall, but
surgeon,
I
though.
think that's because the word tall is just relative.
It's relative, yeah. I mean, you're
And-
short if you're standing around NBA players.
Right.
Right.
Or if you're just in, what is it?
If you're standing
Sweden.
around, if you and I were standing around Civil War people era, we would be giants.
Yeah.
We would have a big hammer and we would hit them over the head with it, depending on which side they're on.
Yeah.
But maybe all of them.
Yeah.
But maybe all of them.
But also, we'd be
They were
really
kinda
good
dirtbaggy
targets,
people.
though,
They're
too.
pretty dirtbaggy.
I don't want to be a target. That's why I'm afraid to go to Japan.
Yeah. I feel like, Mikey says, listen, don't be heightist. And, I don't even know if that's a thing. But I will say, I bet Mikey would be, so Mikey probably lives, so Mikey's 7 feet tall.
Right.
He's like 1 million feet tall.
Mm-hmm.
But I bet Mikey is living the experience of what we would be experiencing had we time traveled back to the Civil War times. He's living that now.
Mm-hmm. So
He's bonking his head on doorways, trying to just go inside. It's just like Mikey would be outside, and it'd be like -20, and wind is blowing, and he'd be like, "Oh my God, it's so cold out here. I want to go inside where it's warm." Right? But then he bonks his head on the doorway going in. He's like extra damaged. Maybe that's heightist. That's the problem.
maybe.
That could be the problem.
When I was in university, back in like 2001 or something, I had a friend, and she was like to my rib, basically. That's how tall she was. And one thanks.
Wait, was she a little people?
She was not technically a little people.
Oh, okay.
She was just very.
She was just micro
She was very small.
person.
Anyway,
Macro.
and so I was not able to go to Thanksgiving with my family that year because it was a long drive, and I think there was something wrong with my car. And so she was like, "Oh, just come to my house for Thanksgiving," and I was like, "Okay, cool." So we go there, and then I show up at their door, and I found out that she is very small because her entire family is extremely small.
Oh.
And I am like, my head was touching the ceiling in their house.
What?
Yes.
Well, who made a tiny house?
They did, I guess. They
What?
made a house that they fit in.
You
just
can't
fine.
make it. You can't make that. That doesn't.
It was
code.
it was a mobile home
Oh,
that had been transformed into a regular home.
I'm mad. I'm mad at that.
And so anyways, so my head was on the ceiling and my feet were on the floor, and they sat me down at the table, and I barely fit in there. It was like sitting at like your
What? I don't understand where were you?
northern Minnesota.
In the Congo or something?
No,
Like,
it's just in northern Minnesota. And I just
okay.
remember, feeling
I'm not mad at you. I'm just confused.
very out of place.
Right.
I did feel like Gulliver.
All right.
It was very interesting.
That is weird.
Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hey, normally the chat sort of leads our discussion a little bit around here, but you all are just being weird today. So yeah, don't tell me what to do. I don't know what to do. Did everybody hit the like button? That's the thing we're supposed to do. I'm supposed to tell you to become a member or sign up on Patreon, and we'll make more content. But it seems like we just kind of make content regardless of how many people sign up, because we have minus people again.
Sometimes we just show up and have conversations in front of people.
That's right. We'll just keep doing that.
Just having
I don't know.
recorded conversations.
What do you want us to do? I don't
Sometimes
know.
we talk about fish.
Sometimes we talk about fish. Nobody asked anything about fish. What was the thing I kind of screwed up on Monday? Oh, the fish fleas. I was just like so out of it and didn't really have a good answer for the fish fleas. And what was it? Turned out to be Dimilin, right? I think is
Something like
the
that.
medication. Yeah. Hey man, shout out to not really knowing what the hell was going on with fish fleas. It's been so many years since I've had to deal with that. So yeah.
Well, but it was Pugman, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He had that answer.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, "Nah, bros, I got you."
That's right. And here's the stuff. Get this stuff. Like,
Yeah.
okay. seems dangerous as far as but it sort of ties into parallel earlier with Adam, losing all of his plants to rhizome rot. Always, whether I follow it or not all of the time, always try to remind people to quarantine everything that's coming into your fish room or fish tank, or maybe you only have one fish tank. You just want to quarantine stuff. Get something that you can quarantine things in, and just the best practice is to quarantine stuff.
Right.
That's
actually why I like the $1 per gallon thing that they do.
Mm-hmm.
Is because you can just go and get a 10-gallon tank in America. I understand that there's people outside of America.
Mm-hmm.
But in America, you get a 10-gallon tank. All the medications are rated for 10 gallons of water.
Yeah, that's true.
So, you get the little packets and you can do that. Now, if you have a lot of fish and you end up getting, the big jug of medications, okay, that's different. But still.
Big jugs.
It's a lot. It's a lot better to medicate one fish in a 10-gallon tank than it is to medicate all of your fish in your 120-gallon tank.
Yeah. Oh, Fish Tropic is here. I was trying to take in your stream of how technology killed the hobby, and I don't know what it was about. I don't know. I tried to watch it. So shout out to the Tropic of Fish. I tried to watch your video. I don't really know what was going on with that. I think you were saying that YouTube ruined the hobby, which might be wrong. I don't know. But it was a video, and I tried to watch it. I tried. That's all I could do. But yeah. Let's see here. Memeing and streaming. Looking through some memes here. All good. All good. Memes are always good. We found out earlier today on the Discord that it is reported that memes helped Americans cope with stress during the pandemic, a study finds.
Mm-hmm.
Now, do we know if this study is peer-reviewed or if there's anything we could look up about it? No, because we didn't look it up. Did you look it up?
I didn't look it up, but it is by the Washington Post, or at least the Washington Post's label is on that picture.
I just feel like it's easier to accept. That sounds right. It's like, is this a coping mechanism? Yeah, it probably is a coping mechanism. Now, did it help people during the pandemic? I don't know how you could really ascribe its helpfulness. Is it really helpful? I don't know, but I feel like it helped me get through the pandemic a little bit to explain some complex thoughts that I have in a very can you just laugh at this meme and we'll just move on, and hopefully, it gives you an idea of to think about later as just an average person, right?
Right. We're just continuing cave paintings here.
We're just continuing the cave paintings. We're just passing on some simple. There was a buffalo over here, and we arrowed it to death.
Yep.
And that's what happened because it was Tuesday. Seems like basically that's all we're trying to do. And did it help people with a little bit of coping? Hopefully, I feel like I hope it did. I'm strong on the meme game. I think memes are good. Because the other day I was reading an article about it was just an op-ed piece that somebody had posted where they were trying to figure out why boomers can't figure out how to text properly. Did you read something similar to that?
I have read differences in texting methods, difference in texting, almost like texting dialects between the generations, versus Gen Z versus boomers or Gen X or whatever, and millennials too. And
I'm in the no man's land generation.
Right. There's people like me who insist on using all the punctuation and stuff and spelling things out.
Right.
Because I'm
No, it's fine to punctuate
cool,
and stuff, but
but
the big difference is I think was put into it was that boomers want everything to be just grammatically correct as just a statement of fact, like, and you don't want to put anything extra in there, right? And the reality is, like, if I send something to Alyssa that's like, oh my God, do you believe blah, 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 right? And you're like, OMG, 5 exclamation marks. That's so funny. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. Exclamation mark. Oh my God, what the hell? Oh, blah, 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 right? And you're like, oh, you get it. You're laughing. It's funny. Like, blah, blah, blah. But if you're like, if you typed out, oh my God, period, that's funny, period.
O-H space
I can't believe.
M-Y
Right,
space.
Yeah. You're like, I can't believe those people are doing that, period. That's technically grammatically correct, but you'd be like, wow, okay, you don't even care. Like, what's wrong with you? Are you dead inside? You know.
That's the way. If I was gonna do it that way, that would literally mean,
yeah.
OMG, I can't believe that anybody would do that. As if I was doing the, like, sarcastic reply.
Right. I'm so sad that humanity
Right.
has come to this. Right? And you'd be like, oh, that's reading as super disappointed, whatever.
Right.
Like,
and
we can't just have a laugh at these dum-dums doing something stupid.
Like, remember back in school when you weren't supposed to use exclamation points except for if somebody was specifically shouting at that point?
Right.
And now it's like you get people who just leave their caps lock key on all the time, constantly, and they just type that way. And then you'd be like, why do you type that way? Why are you shouting constantly?
Right.
And then the person's like, I'm not shouting. I just can't read the letters unless they're all in capital letters. And you're like, bro, just
chill.
Increase the size of your font.
Yeah,
like,
but they don't know how to do that. They're booming out. You know, they're booming out super hard. Can't figure out how to change the font size.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. Even though computers were released on whole to the public when they were adults and could afford to buy the technology and learn how to use it, they were just like, no, bro. Right. And then now they're all 66-year-old Bryce Willis typing out some kind of novella into their text replies. Yeah, right. I don't know. It's bonkers. But
all caps.
But the thing, in all caps. And then but the thing that came with that was like, but this is why emojis were created, so that boomers could just here's the smiley face, here's the frowny face, here's the thumbs up, here's the thumbs down. You know what I mean? Like, all the basic emojis were sort of created as a need to try and, like, aid conversations between people that are booming out and then they're Zoomer kids.
Thank you.
Who are
that makes me smile. Period.
Trying to talk to grandpa, you know? Yeah. And I'm like, I didn't even realize. I thought that emojis were a straight, like, convention of. Well, because, you know, like, if you watch the news, this is how it's told, right? Is that, like, oh, kids are crazy and lazy and this and that and the other thing, right? Mm-hmm. But it turns out, like, emojis were released so that, like, boomers could better send messages in a better way to young people and not make people think that they're just mad, right?
Right.
And you're like, oh, my God, it's straight up an invention for the old people who then, like, trash talk young people for being right. And it's just like, what is going on? Like, can we just get not trash talk for 5 minutes? Is that okay? Is that all right? And I realized, like, I think this is going to be a big time generational difference between the parents that I grew up with and the parents that I am being for Olivia, right?
Right.
If I have another kid, mystery kid, right, is that
Olivia, etc.
I really hope that 20 years from now I'm still like, my kid's awesome. They're rocking out, doing their thing, doing that stuff, and just, like, hopefully, like, still being supportive adult, right? Instead of, like, because, like, let's assume 20 years from now I'm still doing a show on the internet or whatever the future technology is, like 9G into your brain. I'm gonna be broadcasting into your mind. Hello, I'm here in your mind telling you about fish farts. Let's assume that I just continue doing this kind of nonsense. And then but by that point in time, I haven't turned into like Bill O'Reilly or whatever and just be like, all the kids these days are dirtbags, you know? Like, I hope I'm not doing that, right?
I really hope not.
All of the children are bad because they're young and I have liver spots. Bleh. Right?
I hope
All
I
ghoulish,
hope that if that happens,
all ghoulish like
I hope that if that
half
happens,
Dracula.
I can call you out.
half Dracula.
I'll be like, okay.
And you can just tell me I'm booming out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah? And I'll
Yeah,
be
have a
like,
little boomer time.
oh, dang. Oh, dang, bros.
It's like, I know you're technically Gen X.
Am I?
I think so.
I don't even know.
I think because I think technically I'm millennial and you're Gen X.
Let's see. Oh, it's saying that I'm a Gen Xer.
Mm-hmm.
No, because I'm in the gap in between. Let me see. Let's take a look here. We need a visual representation.
They might just call you an Xennial.
Exennial. Here we go. I'm of the Lost generation, I think. 1883 to 1900. Yeah, that's me. The Lost generation. This one right here. Then came the Silent generation. I know, yeah, the Greatest generation, and then the Silent generation. Those Silent generation, they were the worst. Oh my God, they were all doing like all this weird bippity boppity dancing and all this stuff, and I was like, get out of here. This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm on the cusp of millennial and Gen X, I guess. But the description of like when I was born, in 1980, right, is sort of this no man's land of an actual generation, has been illustrated on numerous occasions.
There's graphs and stuff.
Yeah, we got graphs, bros. We got
That's
graphs.
nice.
We got charts. Generation Alpha is the new one, the 2010s to the 2020s. Gen Z is 97 to 2012. Millennials is 81 to 96. And Gen X is 65 to 1980. And then the boomers are before that. Can we trust the boomers? I can't trust the boomers as far as I could throw them. And they're all, let's be honest here, most of them are overweight. So I can't throw them very far.
No.
So the trust is short, is what I'm saying. Short leash.
So your kid and my nephew, Gen A? Gen A?
Gen Alpha. Gen A.
Oh, no.
Generation Alpha.
Oh, good hell.
I don't know who came up with Generation Alpha, but this is the first time I've heard Generation Alpha.
Yeah, it hasn't come around in the common lexicon yet, so
Yeah.
it's not stuck.
Let's see. Birth rates. Oh, hey, here's the birth rates throughout time. They're a-dipping. They're dropping. They're getting close to 2, which is about right.
Yeah.
I mean, if a couple has 2 kids, that's like the proper replacement, right? Well, I'm saying if 2 people have 2 people,
Right.
that's like,
No, I get you.
right?
I understand.
But do you want growth? Not just replacement.
No.
So 2.5.
Meh.
Like a little bit of growth.
Nah.
Well, you want more people to do stuff.
Well, I mean, we just replace the people that we have.
Well, we could just keep ripping into the earth and mining resources.
This isn't Minecraft.
This
It's
is
not,
Minecraft.
No, it's not.
This is Minecraft Earth version.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Should our next Minecraft world be the Earth?
You want it to be modeled after the Earth, but the flat Earth?
The flat Earth. Ooh. Is there an ice wall?
I don't know. Well, there could be
There
if
better
you
be.
put it up that way.
There better be an ice wall. Should we? Okay, quick poll. Should we model our new Minecraft world off of the Earth or not? I don't know.
Because if you do a flat Earth, then you have to have beyond the ice wall is just nothing.
Oh my God, we got a super chat. What are we supposed to do with super chats? This is the first time we've gotten a super chat today. What do we do? Do we have a button? Should we hit a button? Is there a button? I don't have a button. Hold on, I have an arrow button that just arrowed right in my eye. Digitally.
That can't be great after the lasers.
The lasers were weird. It was just, I don't know how many times I've talked about it on here that it was.
I used to be an adventurer like you, and then I took an arrow to the eye.
I used to be an adventurer, but then I took an arrow to the eye. I took a laser to the eye, and then I got sad. Hold on. We gotta remove this button here. Remove. All right, that button's gone. We don't have to worry about that button anymore. Okay, we did get a super chat from Mikey because he's so tall he can see the super chat button. $5 super chat says shout out to Cusp Gen X Millennials. That's right, we're the cusp. Mikey and I, we're the cusp. You're not. Get out of here, jerk. When were you born? 84?
81.
85?
81.
You're getting younger every time I say it. 86? The youth. I mean, how's Joe Pesci going to show up if you're born in 81? You're not a Ute anymore.
I was born in
you're in the middle.
I was born in 2005.
2005? 2005? Now you're too young. You have to get out of here. You have to leave.
Right.
Wait,
Just a child.
Are you officially 40 now, or
Yeah.
do you have like a December birthday? I don't remember when your birthday
No, June 30th.
Oh, June. June
Yeah.
birthday. Okay. All right. Hello, everyone from Daniel Velez. Hope all are well, safe, and healthy. No gaffas. Hey, no gaffas. What's a gaffa? I'm confused. What's that?
Oh.
I'm going to copy it and put it into the Googlepedia here. Control V. Activate.
Greater Atlanta Fish Aquarium Society? I'm just guessing. I don't know.
Oh, my God. Gafas. Oh, it's Spanish for glasses. Duh.
Oh.
Duh. Oh, my God. I'm a dum-dum. I knew that. But I literally was going like, it must be an abbreviation for something. Like, man, what? Yeah, gafas is Spanish for, yeah. Yeah, I got the laser to the eyebrow. I got blasted in the eyes, and I don't have to wear glasses anymore. They're still healing. It takes time for them to settle in, as is told to me. They got to continue to heal, and you deal with, like, so, like, they cut a flap, they laser your eye, the flap goes back over where the laser hole was, and then they heal and blah, blah, blah. So, last time I went in and got looked at, everything's healing fine, no problems. But when naturally your body will put some oil behind that, and then it takes time for your eye to absorb the oil back in. So that's why you get kind of these little refractory things and stuff like that that are a little bit wacky, but it takes time for that to heal. So they're just like, yep, this is going to keep taking time to heal. Keep your eyes lubed. There's a lot of lube talk at the old LASIK office. They're like, yeah, man, you got to keep those eyes moist, you know.
Do you get the individual packets of droppers?
Yeah, yeah. Oh, I even have some on me right now, I think. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Yep, a little saline eye drop action, which is
super
kind of new to me. It's a new thing.
sanitary.
It's a new thing. Yeah, it's a sanitary factor. That's why I'm like, what's with all this like plastic waste? But it's the sanitary factor. You don't want to be having a nib, maybe? Isn't the end of the little thing called a nib? You don't want that getting all filthy and then putting it in your eye.
Right. Which is why I always find it crazy when people have saline stuff for their contacts and they just leave the cap open.
I think
in their bathroom.
I think it's less of an issue once your eye is fully healed.
You still don't want to put bathroom germs in your eye.
Do you mean poo particles?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You were trying to sneak in poo particles, but I'm going to call it out.
Okay.
Because that's how this show goes. We talk about poo particles.
Right. That's how you get pink eye, man.
Well, that's why you have a lid for your toilet.
Right. I know. You put the lid down, and then you put
and then you flush.
do the cap on the thing.
Well, you put the lid down when you flush.
Right.
Which is how many arguments I've had with women over the years.
I don't understand.
With the seat down.
Why they
How
don't.
many times people have argued with me about the seat down is like, no. It's the lid down.
The whole thing.
The whole thing is supposed to be closed.
Just the whole thing.
Don't tell me about the seat, because that's wrong also.
Right.
If the lid's not down, that's wrong also.
Yeah.
You've also come to the wrong conclusion.
Same page.
I understand that you don't want to fall and dip your butt into the toilet when you got to go pee in the middle of the night, which is the argument I've heard a million times. Like, it's dark and I'm groggy and I'm going to fall into the toilet. Believe you me, this is not a new argument. I've heard this argument. As I mentioned, I was born in 1883. I've heard it for hundreds of years now, since the toilet was invented. Indoor plumbing, I remember it. Boy, what a day. The falling in the toilet, that's the problem if you don't leave the seat down. But truth be told, it's both are supposed to be down. The lid and the seat are supposed to be down. So if you're not arguing in favor of the lid being down, you're kind of just being a jerk. Because that means that you're flushing the toilet without the lid down.
Yeah, and it's just like...
Yeah, and it just aerosolizes your poop, and it makes poop particles. And they've tested toothbrushes so many times to find out what is on them, and it turns out poop particles are on your toothbrush.
Right.
Which you're going to be grossed out by that, which you should be. Put the dang lid down before you flush your poo-poo.
And I gotta say, I really appreciate that in your particular bathroom, you have to put the lid down or you can't reach the button to push the thing. I'm like, brilliant. It should be like that everywhere.
Well, I think Fish Tropic's doing a self-own right here because it says, who sits on a toilet without looking? And I'm telling you, if you've lived with a woman for any amount of time, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Because it's just a timeline factor. For women, it's a timeline factor that you will eventually sit on the toilet without the seat down in the middle of the night at some point in time in your life. It's just a timeline thing.
I know I had a babysitter once who, because we were lid down people.
Right.
And at the time, we had, remember those like fuzzy seat cover things?
Oh my God, yeah.
With the
Disgusting.
carpet.
So gross. So gross. So gross.
I had a babysitter once who didn't look, just like went in, didn't look at the toilet at all, just went, sat down, and just peed on the freaking
on
seat
the rug
cover.
thing?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And I was like, and
this
I
is
saw
a
her
level of grody that you just I don't even know
coming
how
out
you
of
get
the
around
thing,
that.
carrying it, and I was like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "I gotta use the washing machine." I was like, "That's a weird thing to do," and I like to think,
It's a
little
weird moment.
7-year-old Alyssa being like, "Why wouldn't you look?"
Ooh, Aquarium Adventures is asking a good question here. Bidet, yay or nay?
I really want one.
Yeah. So we install. I think I'm not spoiling anybody's situation because I think Corey talked about it on his live stream. But we installed a new bidet at his studio.
Nice.
Because some people come to visit, and some people like. I think the way that Corey put it is that like some international folks coming to visit, they don't necessarily have an expectation of a bidet, but they're so used to utilizing a bidet that it was a very small upgrade to having fixed the bathroom there, that it was like he just went for it. And so we installed a bidet there, and I got to say, I 100% understand it. I'd never use it while I'm there. Because I'm like, I don't know. But I get it. You are way cleaner. That's for sure.
My only issue with the consumer grade retrofit bidets that I have run across in my time. Oh, I don't know about that at all.
You get a cold blast.
But is that it's difficult to figure out how to clean the things.
Right. That's true.
Like
you don't want the retrofit. I don't think you want the retrofit situation. You should just replace the toilet.
Yeah.
It sucks, and I think you're probably using up a lot of resource, really, I think. Just replacing a toilet because you're like, I don't know, this one's not fancy enough. But probably the best way to go because I've never seen the retrofit ones last very long. As a matter of fact, I've had like people call me out to come like fix their retrofit bidet, and I'm like, just go buy a new one, because I'm gonna come out there and it's gonna cost more for me to come out there than it is for you to just buy a new one. They don't cost very much. I think they're like $100 or something like that. They're just not that much money.
Right.
And it's just like, yeah.
It'd be like fixing a toilet seat. They're $20. Just go buy one.
Just go buy one and unscrew it and put the new one on there.
Yeah. It's really...
It's pretty basic. The only hard part with replacing a toilet seat is finding the
coming home with the correct one.
Yeah, come home with the correct one. The make and model match is
you
the
got
issue.
a round toilet. You come home with the long one. You're like,
that doesn't fit. Oops, got the wrong one. Yeah. Ours is plastic, and it's an add-on. Comes apart, easy to clean. Ooh.
Nice.
All right. I haven't seen that one, but we should look out for that one. I've heard good things about them from Zip Gun. Yeah, I mean, you definitely are cleaning up. That's for sure. You're cleaner, much cleaner, which is good. We want more hygiene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crusty bums do plague the world. Okay. Well, hey, man. You know how it is. New house came with one. I've been eyeing it suspiciously. Yeah, I mean, I would say go for it. Rumbust with our second super chat of the day. Oh, my God. It's mind-bending. It's mind-bending. We have 2 super chats today. Do we have enough to fund the show? I'm going to be honest with you guys and say it's helpful, but it's not a number that's changing that's changing the world. Hey, thank
might
you.
Not be changing
I'm 100%
the world,
appreciative.
but perhaps we're
Rumbust super
changing
chat
our hearts.
has a pretty good message here. Minecraft should make a ring world.
Is Wesley here?
Like with a big void space.
He is here.
We should have a big void space in the middle. Like a big void space. If you fall in there, you're like dunzo. It's like falling off the...
Can you build across the void space?
I bet you could bridge.
Nice.
You could bridge across it. Because as far as I know, you can... As far as I know, there's a way to world edit just removing all the blocks. Like you can just pick a XY axis and then just remove all the blocks and it'll just be bedrock. And then
It'd be
you
like,
could just remove the bedrock, I'm sure.
It'd be like the end, you know?
Yeah, it would be like the end. But on the main world.
Yeah.
Just a big hole.
Yep.
Yeah. You guys know, those of you that have played on our Minecraft server know that I'm a huge fan of digging giant holes into Minecraft and removing the blocks.
And I like building tunnels.
Sort of my pastime. It's like, I got to make my giant hole bigger. Yes, let's do it. I'm digging to the earth and making my giant hole bigger.
Yep.
I know what's in your mind right now, and I don't think we should add it to the stream.
Nope.
Yeah.
Nope.
Although I did say that I did post that this is not for children. This is not for children. I could age restrict it. I wonder if we could just like age restrict the stream and then just do whatever. But I don't think so. Because still, you know, there's a bunch of stuff you can't do on stream. You get in trouble.
Right. This is we're utilizing a platform that is run by a company.
That's right. Private company.
Yep.
That's right. Privately owned.
Yep.
By a giant conglomerate Google.
That has terms of services.
By a giant conglomerate.
Yes.
Wesley's Fish Club says you can just get a spray paint thingy that hooks up to the water intake. Oh, I added paint. A spray thingy.
Oh.
That hooks up to the water. I don't know what's wrong with me. I could get a spray paint thingy. I was doing a lot of spray painting this week, so I know why I just inserted that. But, yes. So, yeah, you can do that. We got one of those for Olivia when we had the baby for cleaning cloth diapers out into the toilet because you poop into the cloth diaper. Now you have a bunch of poop. So there's a sprayer. You'd spray it out. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, Vicky and I could not handle trying to save the planet by doing the cloth diapers. I don't know how people do it. It's just like, what the F is this? Like, there's just so much poop in our house. Can we just buy the bamboo diapers that are disposable that break down? Can we just do that?
That's a good option.
We just paid the extra money for the biodegradable diapers Because, well, I mean, it's like 2 to 1. It's twice as expensive for the biodegradable diapers. And I was like, I will pay you $1 million right now. I don't even have $1 million, but I'll give you $1 million if I could stop cleaning cloth diapers with poop in them into the toilet and wringing them out because now they're wet.
Right.
And now you have a moist poop cloth diaper. Oh, my God. I didn't even know what to do with myself. I understand that, like, Vicky and I aren't, like, the nitpickiest, cleanest people in the world. Vicky is close, though.
Yeah.
But I literally was like, there's, like, a damp baby poop smell. I'm not enjoying this and kind of want to burn the house down because it smells like it needs to be disposed of, like, bad. We might need to incinerate the building. You know, it's not rational.
Yes.
It's not a rational thought. It's not a rational thought, but it's there. Like, maybe we should just burn the house down and move.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You know? Like,
Yep.
like, it smells like moist poop in here, and I just can't do that. It's not good. I do that at work, but people are paying me to do it. I'm not just hanging around doing that.
Oh, fish poop?
What?
What?
People's plumbing in their house when it goes bad.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Right.
It's outside. It's a moist poop out there.
Yeah.
But at least you're outside.
And you can go home afterwards.
And burn all your clothes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just wash them.
Or burn them.
One or the other.
They have
Whatever you want to do.
I'm going to tell you, if you have mystery poop on your clothes, there's not really a, like, amount of washing that you're really like, yeah, those are clean now. You know? You're like, they are clean, but.
The one time that I've had to dispose of, like, an outfit was the time that I went in and they swore they didn't have bed bugs.
Right.
Oh, but they did.
Oh, these clothes are being burned.
I was like, nope. Nope. I had to throw out the vacuum
Legit.
and everything.
Uh-oh,
It
S
sucked.
needs a shower.
Ugh.
Uh-oh. Hey, man, go for it.
Yeah.
Showering's good.
Yeah.
Janice says, my daughter was allergic to diapers, so we had to use cloth diapers. The answer to the bad smell, use a diaper service. Plop and drop in the bucket. Yes, we were using a diaper service. We were doing that. It was not working. It was just not working. I wanted it to work.
Yeah.
I wanted to be that guy that was like, yeah, we did cloth. We could not handle it. I couldn't handle it. And we were paying a lot more money because the diaper service sure as hell ain't free.
No.
And they were picking them up. We were being delivered new ones, and it was a fantastic service. They did a great job. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. Yeah, it's like, sure, there's a lid. There's like a plastic lid on a thing that is full of wet poop.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not hermetically sealed, you know? It's just a plastic lid just sitting, and I can smell it.
Yeah.
Like, I used to be able to smell all sorts of crazy stuff, but I smoked like 1 million cigarettes a day. I don't smoke anymore. I don't know if anybody's noticed that. It's been almost 3 years since I quit smoking.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be like, what the hell is that? You know? And people are like, what are you talking about? I'm like, there's something bad over there. I don't know what that is. It smells bad. You know? And they're like, it's definitely increased from the not smoking. I think the smoking was curtailing my smelling ability.
Right, because
To a
all you
point.
had was the cigarette smell.
You get
So it was
cigarettes
permeating in
all up
everything.
in your face, and it's just you can't smell anything anymore.
And now, you're clearing all that gook out.
Mm-hmm.
How long has it been since you quit smoking?
How old's Olivia?
She's almost 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, okay.
I quit smoking when Olivia was born. Well,
all right.
maybe a week after, a couple days after.
Sweet.
I think I had some cigarettes left or something. And then I vaped for quite a while, and now I'm on the gum. And I got to admit, I just kind of like chewing the gum. It's not even, I don't even know if well, I mean, I'm sure the nicotine's doing something, but I almost just like chewing the gum because my mouth's all minty all the time, and I like chewing gum. And this last time I went to the dentist, they're like, your teeth are bitching, bro. They're doing good. And I'm like, what is different? I don't smoke anymore, and I chew gum now. All right, maybe that's it. Who knows?
You could almost try switching to regular gum. It'd be cheaper.
It's true. It would be cheaper.
Mm-hmm.
Can we trust it?
Wow. Just that.
Janice says they didn't want you to empty the diaper.
Ew.
Yeah. 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 I bet you're right. They probably didn't want me to, but I was like, I feel like this is what I'm supposed to do. So maybe I was in the wrong. I want you guys to know something. I've been wrong 100 million times in my life, and I think all of y'all have been too. And I bet this is one of those times where I was just not interfacing with the world very well.
Right. Like
You
there
know?
was probably directions and you had to read them.
I bet I
But
read
you were
them.
like exhausted at the time.
I was like, I mean, I was prepared. I practiced on a doll, how to put the cloth diapers on. Not the same as a actual baby.
Right.
It's like, oh yeah, I could do this on a doll all day long.
Right. But a baby is like squirmy.
This is not the same.
No.
Yeah. Maybe there's less sausage in your nicotine gum. There's probably less sausage. True.
Sausage.
Probably less sausage, I would guess. He's
Sugar.
Big D uses a vape pen when driving. Makes sense. You can smell people smoking in their cars when driving behind them. Yes, I can. I can smell people smoking in traffic. It's weird.
Yeah, me
You're like,
too.
oh, somebody's up there smoking cigs. What's up, bro? And then I see them throw them out the window, and I'm like, I just kind of want to ram your car right now with my truck because my truck's a piece of shit, and I don't think I'd be out too much. But
I
it's
drive,
a whole interaction that I don't want to get involved with, and it's just literally a joke thought that I have. Don't get mad at me for having thought crime. This isn't Minority Report, and you're not Tom Cruise. Okay?
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness.
Right.
Although if you are Tom Cruise and you're watching this show, I won't become a Scientologist, but it would be cool if you sponsored us.
Right.
We do Mission Impossibles. We do Mission Impossibility 9 or whatever it is. I don't know. What's that movie on now? Do we know?
Jeez. I don't know.
Which Mission
I always get surprised when there's another one.
Impossible is now 7. So we'll be there for 9, you know?
Yeah.
You're on 7 right now. It's coming out. It's already done.
Mm-hmm.
You just keep not releasing it because... So Tom Cruise apparently has like 4 movies that are already wrapped and done or something like that. But they're not releasing them because they're not going to make enough money. Like Top Gun 2.
Oh.
Top Gun 2 was supposed to come out.
Oh, is he
A
waiting
year
for the
ago.
pandemic to end or what?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah, so they're literally just canning all these movies and waiting until the pandemic's over. And suddenly we're going to have like 900 Tom Cruise movies or something because they're still making them. They're still like in production, but they're like, nah, we're not going to put that out yet. We need to make more money. Blah, 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 blah. Right? They're like,
I appreciate that there's people out there who don't have to work and make money in order to
they're working and
ride
making
out.
money.
I know, but he's not. He's working and he's paying his people, but they're not putting the thing out.
He's paying his
so
people.
they're not making the money from the product that they produce.
Yeah, but it's like a known commodity, right?
Right.
So basically what they're doing right now is that they're mining for gold, right? And they've got the gold. They just haven't converted it into
Right.
USD yet.
Right.
So they're like, yeah, we're good. We've got a commodity here.
It's like they're
It's
sitting
fine.
on a toilet made out of gold.
It's like they're sitting on a toilet made out of bidets. Bidets. I hate what they did with the franchise. It's just double born impossible. It was a fan of the old 70s show. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. I could see how just kind of ridiculous it is, but like, you know, I mean, they wear the, like, every time something happens, it's somebody wearing a mask now, right?
Oh.
You know what I mean? They have the mask, the rubber mask that they are
like
impersonating people and stuff and all that.
Yeah.
The double cross, triple cross.
Yeah.
You've been crossed by the guy who double crossed the other guy, and then
That's
double crossed this.
Scooby doing it.
It's pretty Scooby Doo-ish, yeah.
Although
I will
monster
say,
was actually.
I will say the Jason Bourne movies really had like a lot bigger effect than I think a lot of us kind of realize. You know what I mean? Like they really revolutionized what those. I mean, what do you call those movies? Like action espionage or something? Like what do you call that genre? Something like that?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Drama and action. Draction?
Draction?
We're gonna watch an action
We're
drama.
gonna watch some Draction, bros. We're gonna check out the hot list of Draction that's coming out 2022. Yeah. Uh-oh. Joel, join the exclusive Facebook creators community.
Aren't you already in one of those?
You know what I say to that one? Watch this. Trash can.
Oh.
Bye-bye. I don't want to join anything in Facebook. Actually, that was something I wanted to bring up with you. Have you noticed, like, that fish keeping communities on Facebook are, like, the most toxic place in the world on the internet? Have you noticed that?
Have I? Oh, geez. Did I? So, this last week.
Yeah.
So, everybody knows I like plecos, right? This is not a secret.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I am an admin in one of the pleco fish keeping groups on Facebook. One of the many. I don't own the group. They just made me an admin. Cool.
Is that Alyssa Bentley of internet fame?
Yes.
Yes.
Anyway, so there's a lot of rules on Facebook. You're not allowed to buy or sell animals or anything. Like, you can do plants, but not animals at all. Like, and if you are in a group and somebody's like, hey, I'm looking to buy something like this, where can I go do it? Even that can get your whole group banned, right? And so in the pleco group, every post that's made has to be approved by an admin. So I'm looking at this one post somebody had posted, was trying to post, and he said, I'm trying to find somebody who can point me in the direction to buy some super red bristle noses. Can anybody help me out? And I'm like, okay, this is a worldwide group.
Mm-hmm.
We've got like 15,000 people in this group. Where is this dude? So I stalked his page, found out he's in Australia.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, who do I know in Australia? Dr. Black's in Australia. I know his email address. So I just emailed Dr. Black and I was like, hey man, I got some bro in Australia who's trying to find super reds. Where in the world would he even go? Like, I don't even know how to search for this on Google right now. And he's like, it's like, this is what I would do. And he sends me a path. And I was like, cool. So then thinking, I've solved the problem. I was like, cool. So I go back. I'm like, I have to decline this post, but I'm PMing you. And I'm like, look, I see you're in Australia. I got a buddy in Australia. He says if you're looking for super reds in Australia, you could get it from this site. And the person lost his mind, is mad as hell that I tried to help him find a fish.
Right.
Because he wanted to post it in the group and try to sneak it past the admins that he was trying to buy fish. I'm like, dude, you're not going to sneak it past the we speak English.
Right. Right. We're not bots. We're actually like a human person.
Right.
Right.
He is like calling me a communist. I'm like, where do you even do you know what? I don't think that word means what you think it means,
right.
You know? And I'm like, look, bro, I'm just trying to help you out. He's like, you didn't ask me if I wanted to ship fish. I don't want to ship fish. Blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, but in an Australian accent, I assume.
Right.
But it was typed, so, you know. And I'm like, why are you giving me so much crap? And he's like, now you're going to ban me from the site. And I'm like, I could do that right now. But I don't know why you're so mad. And I still don't know why the guy was so mad. It was just the weirdest dang thing. I'm like, you can't do this because you're going to get the page banned off of Facebook. And we like this page. So I'm sorry about your fifis,
Right.
but no.
Fish Tropic wants to know what law it is where you can't sell your stuff. So you can't sell things that are alive.
On Facebook.
Yep.
On Facebook. It's not a law.
Well, it was okay.
It's a policy.
Where did this policy come from? This policy came from people selling human remains on Facebook. That's where it came from.
Ew.
What spurred Facebook's backlash was people selling human bones. Okay? And people selling like their spit on underwear.
Oh.
It's the easiest way I could explain that.
Okay.
On Facebook and things like that. And they were like, look, we can't sell anything biological. Okay? We're done. That's it. You just can't do it. Sorry. That's the policy now. Because a bunch of those things were against the law, because you can't really prescribe exactly what it is that people are selling and buying and selling and stuff. Like if somebody buys some bones, how do you know that those were like officially acquired in a very legal function or not?
Right.
Or
if they're like dug up out of some burial ground. You dug up somebody's grandma's bones from their backyard.
And it's just weird.
I just needed to stand for a second.
I was like, are you leaving? I'll see you. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
Nope.
All right. Well, either way, it inspired me to look up the greatest speech of all time, which is from a character named Lloyd Dobler. It's played by John Cusack in the movie Say Anything. And the speech is this. He says, I don't want to sell anything, buy anything, or process anything as a career. I don't want to sell anything bought or processed, or buy anything sold or process anything sold, bought, or processed, or repair anything sold, bought, or processed. You know, as a career, I don't want to do that. Which, you know, is the greatest speech of all time, basically. You'll have to look up the better one. He's a much better delivery because I'm not an actor in a movie set. I'm just a guy on the internet right now. But I didn't practice it. I'd have to practice later. All right, you fools. It is 1:12 p.m. We've gone 7 minutes over our timeline, and we had 2 super chats today, so I want to give a big shout-out thank you to Mikey and Rumbust for contributing to the show. I want to say thanks to all of the members and all of the patrons for sponsoring the show, helping out with gas money and keeping the lights turned on and all that kind of nonsense. And that will be the show, and we'll listen to some music now. Bye-bye.